Hi. I'm going to talk about the subject of ecocide among Jewish people. Now, as I've said before, Judaism in general is much more on the earth-based side with most people who practice it than Christianity is, although there are exceptions to both. However, when Jewish people subscribe to the anti-Semitic stereotype of Judaism as being the religion that started the poisoning of the planet, the way they think that the non-human world is okay for humans to use as they wish is much more disturbing and twisted than the way fundamentalist Christians tend to think of it as. Fundamentalist Christians tend to have this, basically this genocidal Nazi kind of hatred of the non-human world. Like in the Middle Ages, the Catholic Church would depict wolves and cats and goat people as being the devil's animals and depict the devil as a goat man. So, and then they would go and burn those animals and people who were pagan or who had animal familiars at the stake. However, as bad as that is, that's awful. There's something about just deliberate hatred in that at least it's disturbing in a recognizable, comprehensible way. But the way the Jewish people who don't care about the non-human world express that, much more disturbing and off-key. Basically, it's like they seem to care a lot about the human world, although they support denying the rights of religious freedom to pagans. That's one thing, because they believe that the Jewish God is literally the only true God. That's one human rights issue there. However, the way they act toward the non-human world is that basically they believe that plants, non-human animals, rocks, the land are basically there for humans to use as they wish, and basically they're only for an economic value. Some of them might be capitalists, Republicans, or neoliberals, and in doing that they also conform to the extremely racist anti-Semitic stereotype of a greedy Jew, and that's really bad for Judaism as well. My point is that both not caring about the non-human world and also being a rich, greedy, cutthroat capitalist, those are both very hurtful to the Jewish community. Those attitudes help promote anti-Semitism, even if the people who practice them say that that they're not being anti-Semitic because they are Jewish, or that, they are very against anti-Semitism. They are promoting it by promoting those ideas. So, this is, I've seen it in a particularly disturbing way in ABA and in, social skills classes, and that try to normalize autistic and other disabled kids. In that someone like a Jewish ABA therapist might try to punish us if we bite somebody, but, say for one thing, if we want to kill ants on the street, then I've heard people say that you can kill them if you want, and I've seen Jewish ABA people not refusing to cut up six-pack rinks because they didn't educate themselves on how six-pack rinks can suffocate wild animals if they're not cut up. And then should we protest to them, especially if we do it rudely, but even if we don't, they might tell us not to. But if we're rude about it, and we're being rude because we are trying to save innocent creatures from being slowly strangled to death, something that Jews of all people should have sympathy for. So, and should empathize with and understand. They would just, they would punish us, lock us up in the room that they locked up the naughty kids, take points off from our behavior charts. Because for them, it was more of a heinous crime to be rude to somebody who is committing non-human genocide than to, commit that non-human genocide. So, pretty sick and twisted, folks. This is why, really why all monotheism needs to be earth-based, and the idea of human-centered religion needs to go. Monotheism doesn't have to go, but the human-centered, prejudiced takes on monotheism do have to go eventually. And this is just an example of just, well, it's a bunch of examples. This is why the way Jewish people who don't care about the earth express that lack of care is just, you know, a mindfuck.